All right, hello everyone, and welcome now to game number 1 in a series between Sonik and Worker taking place here on Ancient Isle. Worker spawning as the yellow orc on the bottom right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top left, we have Sonik spawning as the yellow night elf. Why are their colors swapped in the top right-hand corner? I have absolutely no idea, but hopefully we will be able to get these games underway and these games will be enjoyable. Let's see what we're going to be looking at in this Night Elf versus Orc matchup. It looks as though we should be looking at perhaps some Druid of the Talon action coming across, as Druids of the Talon are extremely common in this Night Elf Orc match. Blade Master going to be coming across from the Orc player. Meanwhile, Night Elf will be coming with that Demon Hunter, just now getting to that 2-minute mark as the Demon Hunter quickly goes after this Ogre Magi location. Demon Hunter doing a great job so far as that Ancient of War is tanking the majority of that damage. Meanwhile, Blade Master going to be going after the Ogre Magi here. A little bit of split damage once more. The Grunt finally taking a little bit of damage there as the Blade Master looks to finish off this Ogre Magi. Quick healing salves, selling of that Scroll of Town Portal will allow that Blade Master to get away with relatively low damage there. As you can see, the Blade Master does pick up a Ring of Protection +2, a useful item at least early in the stages of the game while you still have open slots. Later on, that Blade Master will most likely sell that Ring of Protection once he is down to 2 open slots in order to have access to stealing additional items, Potions of Invulnerability, Circlets of Nobility, and Claws of Attack. Speaking of Circlet of Nobility, there is a Circlet of Nobility right there as the Blade Master now making his way down to the south, perhaps trying to go after this Forest Troll Berserker back across here. Let's take a look. No, it's going to go straight for the Forest Troll Warlord. Very aggressive creep pattern here as Worker is looking to take down this Forest Troll Warlord, pick up a very powerful item. I do believe he will get to level 2 off of this particular creep camp. That Orc Grunt needs to get away. There's the healing salve. There is the healing ward now picked up. A very useful item if in fact he can find some early fights where he is not engaging against the Night Elf player. The reason why that is the case is you do not want to actually try and engage against the Night Elf player with those healing wards, as it is very easy for archers to just snipe that down. Alright, Demon Hunter, where's that Grunt going? Is the Blade Master still in front? Yes, it is, and beautifully done right there. There's a mana burn again, as both sides are still fighting back and forth. Blade Master now looking to get away. Where's that Grunt going? The Grunt should be running back home. Not quite sure where it is. Its long-term goal as the Archer now going to try and get in there. Oh, body blocked by his own brethren there, as that is going to be a little bit more damage once more. Blade Master now hiding back across. You can see that the Archer is going to go ahead and break Shadow Meld, take down the Blade Master, removing that healing salve. As you can see, those spears starting to do a little bit of work onto that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter sitting at level 2. Blade Master also sitting at level 2. Demon Hunter has a slightly more experience. No Dust of Appearance. No easy reveal right now, as the Blade Master doesn't really want to engage, as he knows that a mana burn should be coming out momentarily. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and back off. Where's that mana burn? He's up to 50 mana. There you have it. Always waiting for that extra 50 mana there. We're going to see Worker now get up to tier 2. Shadow Hunter or Tauren Chieftain, both are very strong hero choices, as Worker does go for that Tauren Chieftain. Meanwhile, back across off to the north here, we're going to take a look at Sonik. Sonik is also getting the Altar of Elders and will be ready at tier 2 here in just a moment, as we are looking at the Bestiary. The Bestiary will be ready to go, and with that Bestiary, we should be looking at Raiders and Spirit Walkers, a very nice combination of units to deal with those Druids of the Talon. Raiders, one of the strongest units in the game, just because they can ensnare down heroes. They do deal siege damage, and against a Night Elf composition, there is not really that much normal damage. The real normal damage will be those bears and those huntresses, and the huntresses are actually rather weak to the siege attack of those Raiders. Alright, let's take a look back across here. You can see the Quill Beast attempting to take down this Grunt. Grunt will be forced to try and retreat. Tauren Chieftain pops out at the right moment, throws down a shockwave, and that was actually a beautiful body block right there. Tauren Chieftain now needs to try and get away. Where is he going to be going? He is getting body blocked every which way as well. Blade Master now going to be trying to come into position as he's going to go ahead and Shadow Meld right there. All right, what is this? The Tauren Chieftain. Speed Scroll gets away, but mana burns down. Blade Master going after the Demon Hunter. No, instead going to go after the Beast Master, and both heroes end up slipping away as another Grunt going to get taken out here. One Archer is going to go ahead and Shadow Meld away. It looks as though another Raider, or excuse me, another Quill Beast will get taken down, but the Tauren Chieftain did fall. And this is one of those situations where a little bit of positioning could have had a completely different outcome in that battle. Both sides playing on a razor's edge right there. But I do have to say, well, Sonik took a little bit of the victory that time around. What will the Blade Master be doing next? The Blade Master really wants to try and get a little bit more experience there. Oh, there is an Archer. Is he going to just shockwave down that Archer? That actually would be a rather silly use of mana right there as the Tauren Chieftain now heads off to the north. Tauren Chieftain perhaps wants to get to tier 2, wants to get that endurance aura as the Blade Master will be able to attack slightly faster. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter, Beast Master, and Quill Beast once again joining in on the fight. All right, are we going to be looking at Orc Burrows? Yes, going to go ahead and jump in. No, none of them jumping inside. Actually, just straight up repairing these Orc Burrows. One Peon in position here. Let's take a look. Just a lot of repair work coming in as the Blade Master is going to get an easy Archer there. All right, all the Demon Hunter and the Beast Master did was just cause a lot of Orc Burrows to be constantly repaired as a Pocket Factory going to be popped off inside. That is going to be a little bit more dangerous as those Clockwork Goblins, as they come out, when they die, they do explode on death, taking down the peons that are working so diligently to try and keep this up. You can see more peons now still wandering around back and forth. Blade Master now heading back off to the north. Tauren Chieftain off over here. This is a split army attack on both sides. Sonik is going to be trying to put in some pressure. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 2. Raiders are actually having a field day, and if the Blade Master can hold off against the Night Elf heroes, he will actually be in a much better position as the Tauren Chieftain will be much higher up in level. All right, though, this is not looking good. You can see multiple units now trying to rush on inside here. The Orc Burrow being built in the back. There is a Pocket Factory in play as well. This Orc Burrow looks like it will get taken down, as we are going to be looking at, well, a Tinker now in serious trouble. Goblin Tinker will get taken down. There it goes. Blade Master now going after those Clockwork Goblins, going after the Beast Master. Beast Master in a bit of trouble as well, as he gets taken down with an 84-point critical strike. Beastmaster falls at level 1 as well. Goblin Tinker fell as well, but it is not as devastating as it looks, as those heroes were only level 1 and ended up dying at the hands of, I believe, Orc Burrows. Blade Master not very high in terms of experience. Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 2 though, as we're looking at, well, what is the supply count? 40 over 40 compared to 37 over 50. Worker with a slight advantage there. Sonik having a lot of Moonwells, as we are starting to see these Druids of the Talon be trained. Critical mass on Druid of the Talons. Once they get that strong and that high, it does become a little bit difficult. Red Drake quickly taken down there. You see Boots of Quoth the Lost have been left behind. Are we going to see these? Oh, just the Demon Hunter go inside, pick up, and now just attempt to run away. Plus 6 damage. Very important right there, as those Druids of the Talon, 35 to 41 damage. Those Drakes, that Red Drake never really stood a chance. All right, gonna be doing a little bit of, well, Viking play from StarCraft 2. Goes into ground mode and now focusing down these Orc Burrows. One Orc Burrow will get destroyed in a matter of seconds. There it goes. Another volley could take down more, as we should be looking at perhaps a Scroll of Town Portal. Scroll of Town Portal straight up on all of those units. Wow, beautiful shockwave goes down as the Cyclone does hit. Let's take a look. Only one Druid of the Talon was taken out, though, as the Demon Hunter attempting to get away and has nowhere. Oh, well, the Raider actually moved out of the choke point, enabling the Demon Hunter to get away. Miscontrol on a lone raider, allowing the Demon Hunter with those boots of speed to quickly run away right there, as the Blade Master is going to go ahead and land a Windwalk Strike. All right, it looks as though it has level 2 critical strike, as the Demon Hunter may be in trouble. 150 point critical strike. Yeah, that is triple the damage right there. Is the raider going to be able to get away? There goes another ensnare. Demon Hunter should be using the Scroll of Town portal. Not quite sure why it waited. Perhaps it was waiting for the Staff of Preservation after or first in order to try and save that Scroll of Town portal. Did not lose the ensnare in time, and well, that is why it went back home the invulnerable way. Fairy Dragon goes into Mana Flare mode for a little bit more armor, but too little, too late. You can see healing wards are now down, as well as where the Tauren Chieftain is coming across. Mana Flare coming down as well. More and more Druids of the Talon coming every which way, and they could start focusing down some of those units. There goes a couple of units there, and you can really focus down these units rather quickly. Grunts getting picked apart, and you are actually playing into the armor types fairly well, as a fly tries to go into my mouth. Wow. All right, continuing this fight here. Mana Flare, Druids of the Talon, Ancient of War trying to get into position. Raiders now in combat melee range of those Druids of the Talon. Will they be able to get away, as we're looking at a 37 compared to 44? Sonik still slightly ahead, as the units are now making their way again. All right, never mind. The colors are actually right. It just appears yellowed there, and it appears, well, yellow there as well. All right. The name is always just yellow, regardless of what their specific color is. All right, Demon Hunter ready, getting in position. There's a good mana burn once more, as the Demon Hunter now tries to run down and remove much of the mana that is necessary. We could see another mana burn. Oh, goes into the ethereal form. If it had waited a split second, the mana burn would have possibly killed it. Druids of the Talon now coming back around. Army is just kind of spread apart by both sides. No one really having good control of their units, as the Tauren Chieftain being forced to get the heck out of a bad situation. All right, there, wow. Spirit Walker able to stay alive. Teleport gets off in time, as while being in the ethereal form, he does take double damage. Taking that additional damage from those Druids of the Talon would have finished him off. We are at 50 over 50 by Sonik. Worker is sitting at 46 over 50. We are still in a position where anyone can take this game, as the Druids of the Talon do a slow march to the bottom right-hand side of the map. Tauren Chieftain will be ready to go. Blade Master will be ready to go. Let's see where all these units will be going next. Replenishment Potion apparently not needed, as I look at a low hit point, low mana Tauren Chieftain. All right, Blade Master. Did he pick it up? Well, it's no longer there. He could have sold it. That wouldn't have made a lot of sense either, as the units are not going to go ahead and engage again. Let's take a look. We do see one lone Cyclone picking up that Raider. It looks as though some Moonwells will get taken out. And who is benefiting more? Let's take a look at this. There is no pillage. Staff of Preservation sends back the Demon Hunter. Mana burns onto the Tauren Chieftain, as we are still looking to clear out all of these Moonwells here. 50 over 30 supply. Tauren Chieftain does not have a Scroll of Town portal, so what you see is what you're going to get. Who is going to be able to take out the opposing base faster? That is the big question, as more units are getting absolutely destroyed. Demon Hunter in position there. Scroll of Town portal coming back the other way. All of this space is nearly destroyed, as Sonik teleports back straight up on all of these units. All right, Cyclone disenchant Demon Hunter, as there is the GG from Worker. Sonik taking game number 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number